Morning everyone. This morning we will start off with our new lesson, that is No Men Are Foreign by James.School. Now James.School was born on 23 April 1918, died on 10 May 2009, and he was an English poet. Now let me give the introduction to the poem, or the title of the poem. When we look to the title of the poem, we can find it as No Men Are Foreign, which means that the no men belong to another country is not different from us. They are not an alien, they are not unknown to us. The poet wants to say that all men are same, all men are equal, and he wants to promote the concept of universal brotherhood through this poem. In this poem, the poet also wants to tell us that everyone in this world is same. All people, all men are same. They eat, live, die the same way as we do. Everyone gets the bounties of nature like sunshine, land, etc. in equal measure. We can also see that it is a peace poem. Now when we look to the title again, what does the meaning of the word foreign? Now when we talk about the word foreign, we can find the meaning as an alien, alright, or someone that is unknown to us, or someone who doesn't belong to our own country, our own community, or our own races, right? Therefore the poet wants to promote the concept of universal brotherhood by erasing the boundaries lines that is created in our imaginary mind, right? Therefore when we look to the title No Men Are Foreign, the point means to say that we are all equal, we are all the same being. How we are, they also have the same beingness or the features of like us, even in the other part of the country. Now I will explain you stanza wise. Now in the first stanza, the poem is read as: remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. This is the first stanza. And the first stanza, when we look on to the word strange, strange means unknown, and the word beneath in the second line of the first stanza, the word beneath means under. Now in the first stanza of the poem, we can find in the first line, the poet says that no men are strange and no country is foreign. So he is attempting to remove the borders from the earth which have been erected to separate different countries. Now which we can find the example of India and China. In this very recent moment, we can find the conflict in an LAC, line of actual control. These are the boundary lines that we have created or that we have erected and separate the other country or the people from other country as an foreign or an strange or an alien, right? Therefore the poet wants to eradicate, or the poet wants to erase that very boundary lines so that we can walk freely and we can move around freely without the word unknown or foreign or strange to us. Now and then only no country will be foreign if we are able to remove the very boundary lines that we have erected. We will feel every country as our own land when there will be no boundaries. Everyone will be free to move around. Therefore the poet wants to erase the very borders line or the boundaries. Now the poet also wants to say that the entire earth is one, and all the people who live on this earth belong to one human race. As what? As human being. That's what he means to say. No men are foreign. Right? That's what he meant to say. In the first line of this very stanza, we can find, remember. We are asked to remember one thing. And what is it that we are to be remembering it? It is that no men are strange. See, no men are unknown to us. No men are different between you and me. No men are different between people from people. And there are no strangers. No countries foreign. See, it is not differentiating the people of the other country, because it have the features like us, but it is only the imaginary boundaries line that is erected have created the strangeness in between the countries, as well as feeling the alien among the countries. Therefore, the poet wants to eradicate, and the poet says, the poet says that the place where they are living, the mother earth where they are living, or the other country people whom we think to be as a stranger as well as a foreigner, they are living under the same sky, and we are living on the surface of the same mother earth. Therefore, there is no difference. And when we are able to remove, alright, when we are able to remove the boundaries line, the imaginary boundaries line, then only we can feel the equalness and we can move around freely. At the same time, we can find that beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes, which explain about. Beneath means under. Now, when we look on to the word uniform, there is a metaphor in this very poem. We can find the uniform is a metaphor of the uniforms of the soldiers worn by different countries. Right? The soldiers wears the uniform, and inside the uniform worn by the soldiers of different countries, the human being is the same. Alright, that is what the poet wants to say. The human being inside the uniform or under the uniform is the same. That is the meaning of it. A single body breathes. They also breathe like the soldiers of India, the soldiers of China, Pakistan, or any of the countries. They also breathe like us. They also live like us as a human race, as a human being, though the colors or the design of the uniform might be different. That's what the poet says. Then he says that all the soldiers are our brothers, right? All the soldiers are our brothers. We all walk upon the same mother earth, and upon our death, we shall lie in the grave in the same earth. That's what we can see. Look on to the cemeteries. When we look onto the cemeteries, we will find that we the people who are dead are buried under the earth, like the people who are also buried in the other country. Therefore, the poet wants us to say that we are to remember that there is no people in this world who is stranger, and we can find that they are not alien. It is only the imaginary borders line that have separated us. Therefore, the poet wants us to remember to erase that borders line and to promote with the universal brotherhood. Now, let us go to the second stanza. In the second stanza, we will find they, too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvest, by war's long winter starve. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read, a labor not different from our own. Now, what does the poet wants to convey in this very stanza? Now, who are they? The word they refers to those people who belong to other countries. Alright, we call them foreigners and discriminate them and fight with them also. The poet says that nature has given all the bounties to all people also, just like he has given to us. Everyone gets sunlight, air and water in equal measures, which means that God does not differentiate between people from different countries. That's what the poet wants to convey. We all do farming during a time of peace. Yes, we all do the farming during a time of peace when there is no war. In a peaceful mind, we produce a good products of food items, and we are in a peaceful mood, and we have a plenty, or we have enough food products if the situation is in peacetime. Now, we live a relaxed life and eat the things given to us by nature. But the poet further adds that The way we starve during the war and winter time is the same for those belonging to other countries. This is also a metaphor in this poem. What is the metaphor in this poem? It's all about metaphor means a comparison. All right, he compared the winter time and the war time, because during the war time we can find that the human being or the people of this earth cannot go to the field and cultivate, or they cannot do the farming to produce a food. And in the time of the war we are starved. Like during the time of winter, we can find the richest leaves, it doesn't produce a fruits. Therefore the winter and the wartime is being compared as one, right? Therefore we need to promote the peace so that we can have good food products to live. And the poet also explain us that they also have the same environment, all right, like the sunlight, air and water is given in an equal measures from the God. Therefore they are not different than from us, but they are very much alike. Now he also says that the poet also says that he wants to say that foreigners who belong to other country and we both are same. And then the poet says that even their hands are same as ours. They work very hard just like we do. He is giving all these examples to convey to the reader that there is no differences in us and the people belonging to other countries. All right, that's what he means to say. Now when we talk about the third line of the second stanza, their hands are ours and in their lines we read. What does it talks about? It means to say that their hands are ours, which means to say that they also toil the same labor, they also give the same hard work in order to produce the food products during the time of a peacetime like ours. And in the lines we read, which means to say that even in their hands are swelled out because of the hard work that they have given, their effort in order to cultivate or in order to earn their living. We also do the same type of hard works and we toil. Therefore there is no difference in them, though we might be thinking them to be as a stranger or to be as a foreigner. And that's what we can find in the last line of this stanza. A labor not different from our own, which means to say that a labor means a hard work. The hard work that they also do there and the hard work that we do here to survive is not different. Therefore we are all same and we are not different from any of the people of the other countries. Now looking to the third stanza, we can find, remember they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Now even in the third stanza we are reminded once again, and there is a repetition in this very stanza, that is the word remember. Repetition means repeating of the same word in a poem, and now we can find the word remember that is being repeated. Therefore we can find a repetition in this poem. Now when we look over to the stanza, we can find that the poet asks the reader to remember something. And what is that something? Let us look on it. He says that we should keep in mind that the people of another country, whom we think to be our enemies, have been bestowed by God with similar appearance like us. That's what they say. That is what the poet wants to say, that they have the same appearance, they have the same features like us, though the colors, like the uniform of different countries, might vary in colors and design. In the same way, we the human being might be varied in the colors, like a black, brown, white, yellowish brown. It might be different in the colors, but we all have the same appearance like any of the people in whole part of the world. That's what the poet wants to remember something about it. That is the reason why he repeated the words, or he repeated the word remember repeatedly. Now he also wants, all right, he also wants to remember that God has given them. God has given them. Who are them? Them are the people, all right? Them are the people of the other countries. Like they are also given the same eyes like ours. When we sleep, we close our eyes, and when we awake, we open our eyes. It is very much the same thing, all right? It is very much the same thing. We never open our eyes and sleep, and we never stay awake by closing our eyes. But it is also the same thing with the other people of the country. Therefore, we are all same. Similarly, the poet also wants to say that God has also given them the strength which we can win through love. Above all, love is the greatest. The hatred that we have created, all right, or the enmity that we had with the other part of the world, that can be won only through love. That's what we will find here. By love, in every land is common life, right? That's where we can find that we can win any of the enmity, the hatreds, when we are able to understand, when we are able to recognize their feelings, when we are able to understand their life, we can win the enmity, the hatred with the love, as love is the greatest of all. Then he says that in every country, in every land, there is one common thing, right? In every land and in every country, there's one common thing. And what is the common thing? And that common thing is life. The life of them and the life of us is not different. Life means all the things that are living, right? And if we recognize them, and if we can understand their feelings and realize that they are like us, then there will be no fights or wars between us, but there will be always and only the peace and harmony, and we won't have any stranger, we won't have any foreigners, but we will be as one, as universal brotherhood. That is what he wanted to promote. Therefore, we will be under the umbrella of one sky, and we will be living on the surface of one Mother Earth. Now, let us look on to the next stanza, stanza number 4. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispose, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. That is the stanza number 4. In the stanza number 4, we can find the poet says that we should remember that whenever someone tells us to hate a person from another country, all right, that's what he is repeating again. Let us remember. And what is it that we are to remember? Whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispose, betray, condemn. And what is the meaning of disposes? Disposes means dislodge or deprive, right? Dislodge or deprive, or take something away. And what is it? We are taking something away is the life of our own brother, all right? Therefore, the poet wants us to remember that when someone tells us to hate, all right? When someone tells us to hate, then we are to remember that it is ourselves that we are hating, right? And who are those people who tells us to hate other or takes arms against other? Are those people or are those leaders who think themselves to be as a high-handed people. For example, let us take the example of Hitler. Now, Hitler told the Germans to hate the Jews, and there was a havoc, or there was an Holocaust of killing all the Jews, and there was the outbreak of the Second World War because of the ways of one leader, that is Hitler, who think himself to be as a high-handed person. Therefore, they created a Second World War where a numbers of people's lives were lost, and the properties were destroyed. Now the whole world suffered. In the same way, it is we who is condemning us. It is we who is disturbing the lives of our own common people. Therefore, we are to remember when someone tells us to hate the other people, we should not think about this, because we are depriving ourselves, we are taking away the life of ourselves, and it is only us that we are being it is only us we are destroying ourselves. Therefore, the poet wants us to remember when we are asked to hate somebody else, right? Now, we can also find, he says that we should stay away from such negativity. And what is that negativity? We should condemn. We should condemn such kind of people who tells us to take our arms or to fight against or to hate the other people. We have to get away from those negativity. We should not consider anyone to be our enemy. During a war, both the parties must bear the loss. And that is why the poet says that war is not in our favor. He says that whenever we pick any weapon against someone, we should remember one thing. Alright, we should remember one thing, that is, we are disposing of ourselves, we are depriving ourselves, or we are taking away ourselves, and we should try to condemn. Alright, we should try to condemn the negativity of the leaders who think themselves to be as a high-handed people. That's what we can find out here. That we shall dispose, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. Now, let us look on to the last stanza, stanza number 5. It is the human art that we defile. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. Now, when we look on it, we are to remember once again. All right, we are being asked to remember once again is that we should keep in mind that whenever we pick weapons against any person, we make the earth dirty, because weapons kill people and the bodies which fell on the earth make it dirty. It is decomposed in the earth and it makes or it pollutes the mother earth. Alright, therefore we are not supposed to be taking, we are to be remembering that if we take the arms against each other, which means arms means the guns, the ammunitions, the shield, the bomb, the cannons, or any sorts of destructive weapons, when we are asked to take against and then to fight our own brothers or to fight the people of the other countries, it is we that we are defiling the mother earth. Therefore the poet wants us to remember to condemn and to dispose such kind of the negativity voices of the high-handed people. And then whenever war happens, it leads to a lot of bloodshed. We remember about this one. That's what we can find even in the First World War and Second World War. And numbers of life was lost. Everywhere they were bloodshed. The field cannot be cultivated, or the land cannot be cultivated because, or the land cannot be used for farming because the blood stain of our own brothers that were killed in the battlefield have already polluted the mother earth. Therefore, we cannot take arms against our own brothers. Now, at the same time, these dead bodies accumulate on the earth and it makes it impure, right? Which means that it is polluting the mother earth. The fire of war which erupts, the smoke which comes out, and the dust which fills the air, it is so dirty that it pollutes and outrages the purity of the air. It only not pollutes the purity of the air, but even water pollution, air pollution, environment pollution, every of the pollutions are created and we defile, we destroy this mother earth. Therefore, the poet wants us to remember one thing is that he gives us a message that we should not indulge in war. Finally, he ends the poem by writing the first line in reverse and saying that remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. Right, that's what we can find in the poem No Men Are Foreign by James.School. Now let us also look out to the literary device of this poem. In the literary device, we can find the first literary device that we can find is that the entire poem is written in free verse, which means that there is no rhyme scheme. Alright, there is no rhyme scheme in a poem. At the same time, we can also find the alliteration in a poem. The alliteration means the repetition of a consonant sound in two or more closely placed words. Right, that is the meaning of alliteration. When a consonant sound is repeated, closely repeated, then we call it as alliteration. For example, we can find in stanza 1 as body breathes, the consonant sound of B sound is repeated. Even in stanza number 2, we can find wars winter, the W sound is repeated. And the another literary device we can find out here is metaphor. In the first stanza we can find uniform is referred to the military of different countries, and in the second stanza we can find wartime is compared to the winter season. Now the another literary device that we can find is repetition. It is used in the entire poem. Alright, the repetition is used in the entire poem, and the word is remember. The word remember is repeated 5 times in this very poem. Now the last literary device that we can find out here in this poem is enchantment. Alright, and what is the meaning of enchantment is that running lines of poetry from one line to the next without using any kind of punctuation to indicate a stop. That is the meaning of enchantment. When a sentence is continued to the another line without use of punctuation, that is the meaning of enchantment, right? And that we can find in stanza number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are continued, and in stanza number 2, line 3 is continued. In stanza number 3, line number 1, 2, and 3 is continued, and in stanza number 4, line 1 and 2 is continued, and in the last stanza number 5 we can find line number 2 and line number 3 is continued without the using of a punctuation. Therefore, in this poem we can find that James Kirkup wants to promote the universal brotherhood without differentiating the people from the other part of the country or from different parts of the countries as a foreigner or as a stranger, but we are one, that we are surviving under the same umbrella of sky, and we are living on the same Mother Earth surface. As how we are living here is very much alive even in the other part of the country, right? This is the second lesson, and in the next class I'll be giving you the notes of this lesson. Therefore, I want you to look to the text, and then I also want you to go to it and thorough study, and I'll give you one assignment. The assignment will be the message of the poem, right? Or the question can be such as, what is the message of the poem that the poet wants to convey? This will be the assignment for you for 10 marks. Therefore, I want each and every one of you to write, and on Wednesday before 10 o'clock I want you to submit the assignment. Thank you so much.